Hello BookTube and happy Friday. Welcome to Friday Reads for July the 5th of 2019. Happy belated 4th of July to all my lovely American friends. I hope you guys all had a safe and happy holiday, and I hope that you extended it to an extra long weekend. And I noticed I think most people took the Friday off. It makes sense. At work on Thursday, I was of course at work because it's not a holiday in Canada. So I was pretty much running the US department for the day. And by running the department, I mean reading my book and answering the handful of emails I had left over from Wednesday. So it was actually, I really do enjoy working on the 4th. I mean, it's not a holiday here, so it's no big deal. And working for the US market, it's great because it gives me a day to be able to get a lot of cleanup done without getting the extra phone calls or the extra emails. I did get an email back from one of my customers. I had emailed him a question. I was emailing people back expecting, when they get back in the office either Friday or Monday to reply back. And within 10 minutes he replied back to me, and I wrote him back and I said, dude, I didn't say dude, but I'm like, what are you doing answering emails today? And he said, oh, he was getting ready to fire up the barbecue and he thought he'd check his email real quick. I'm like, don't answer email and drink. He's really, really nice to deal with. So we had a little, joke back and forth. But yeah, so for me, it was a very productive day. But anyway, so what am I going to be reading this weekend? I will get into the real life stuff at the end. So my reading for the weekend. So first of all, my audiobook that I'm going to be listening to is going to be Second Chance Pass by Robin Carr. This, I think, is the 5th book in the Virgin River series. So I am apprehensive about going into this one. If you guys watched my videos over the last few weeks, you know very recently that I read A Virgin River Christmas, which is the book that comes before this one, and I didn't particularly care for it. But I am reading through this series as part of my Stacking the Series challenge, so I wanted to get the next one. This next one is on my list to read in the month of July. So how I decide what book I'm going to read next, it's very random. I have my set TBR, but there's just something about which book is going to be next that really, really makes me happy. So what I do is I have a list of all my audiobooks I plan on listening to over the month, and all my print/ebooks. And when I finish a book, I take that list and I do a random number, and then that's the next book that is going to come up. So this was the next one that was picked after the last audiobook that I finished, and I kind of went because I was coming a few weeks off of reading Virgin River Christmas, but I thought, you know what, let's just jump right into it and see what we think about this one. The books have not been horrible. That one I particularly didn't like, so it's left a bad taste in my mouth for the rest of the series. But let's jump into this one and see if the series can redeem itself. If I made the decision, if I dislike this one as much as I disliked A Virgin River Christmas, I'm going to DNF the series. Simple as that. I am not reading something that I am not truly enjoying or is not entertaining me. The first 3 or 4 books, the first 3 books, I liked them. They were entertaining. I had a few issues with them. They weren't perfect. They were not 5-star reads, but they were 3.5-star reads, which is perfectly adequate to me. I listened to them on audio, so, it's something I can listen to on the way to and from work or while I'm sitting and knitting, so I don't feel like I'm quote-unquote wasting my time. I know a lot of people dislike audio for that fact that you're not completely immersing yourself in the book or in the text, and I get that. But for a series that I do want to read and that I am finding entertaining, but I have decided, again, if this one hits anywhere below a 3-star, I am DNFing the series after this one. So it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, so that is the first book. That is my audiobook. The print book I'm going to be reading, very excited about this one, is Someday Beach by Jill Sanders. This is the second book in the Grayson. It says it's a brand new series, but I think it's the Grayson something series, or maybe it's just the Grayson series. I can't remember. But it's set in a small coastal town, and something on the Atlantic, an Atlantic, like a Jersey Shore kind of an idea. So yeah, I really, really like the first one. I read it a number of years ago, but I am very, very much looking forward to getting into the second one. Jill Sanders is an author I am reading I didn't know anything much about her until I started reading her books, which, I mean, is pretty obvious. You know, you really don't know that much about an author until you start, but she's not an author that was well known to me. Let's put it that way. You know, I haven't necessarily read J.D. Robb, but I've heard of J.D. Robb, right? Whereas this is an author I had not heard of, and then I came across one of her books, and I think, like, first in the series of her books are, like, free, and I know that her Pride series is available as part of the Audible Escape package, or formerly the Audible Romance package. She does get hot and spicy. She is a true contemporary romance author, but she does some great stories, and I do enjoy them, so I'm very, very much looking forward to this one. The next book that I want to talk about, because it's here on my tablet, my Babysitters Club book for this week, is Christie's Mystery Admirer. So this is book number 38 in the Babysitters Club series. I am enjoying this one. Christie is getting mystery, you know, like mystery admirer letters in the mail, and it's right before Halloween, and she's trying to figure out who they're from. I can't remember who started sending these to her, but I am totally interested in finding out, because this has really, really been good. I did have one of my viewers ask me, one of you all asked me where I get these from. My library has the entire series, including all the super specials, including all the mysteries and everything. I'm very fortunate to have the Toronto Public Library at my fingertips, have them all on overdrive. So I am borrowing them all digitally from the library. If one of them, and it's happened 2 or 3 times, if one of them has a ridiculously long wait for the next book, if it's more than like a week or two, I will go on to Amazon and buy the book. They're usually about $3.99, and I figured, you know what? The bulk of the series I'm reading from my library, so to purchase 1 or 2 is not that big of a hardship. I know I have found a bunch of these at thrift stores. You can also look on Amazon themselves. They're available on the Kindle if you're willing to spend the money. Or if you're going to spend the money and you want a physical copy, you can often get them from secondary sellers, either on the Amazon Marketplace or through Thrift Books, thriftbooks.com. You know, there's lots of online places that you can buy used books. So, but it's completely up to you and however you want to do it. I believe my library also has all of these in print book format. So if you might want to see if your library has them as well, if you're looking forward to, or if you're looking to read through the series. And the last 2 books I want to talk about real quick are print books. I have physical editions. The first one is my 40 Years of Harlequin book, my Temptation novel, Her Last Temptation by Leslie Kelly. This one has been so good so far. I'm not very far into it, but already I'm really liking the main characters. The last 4 books I realized actually were about this group of 4 women, a set of sisters. She's one of the sisters. And then 2 friends of theirs, and they run this bar. So the last 4 books in the series, that last month that these were published, were all kind of a series, but not really. The girls all knew each other, and the characters make appearances in other books. So it's been kind of fun. There was a little note from Leslie Kelly at the beginning. She says, this book was truly a work of love. I and the other authors in this last month wanted to create a suitable tribute to the line that has sparked the careers of so many popular romance writers today, and the line that has forged such a tight bond of friendship between its authors. So as you read the books, you might stumble across some familiar names, and yes, there are definitely some inside jokes. After all, Harlequin Temptation has always been about having fun and being just a little bit naughty. So this is the final book in the Harlequin Temptation line, if you guys didn't watch my last week's weekly reads, or Friday reads. So yeah, so I am very, very much enjoying this one so far. I love the Temptation line, much like I love the Blaze line. So the Blaze line replaced the Temptation line, and now Dare has replaced Blaze, but it's not to the same caliber in my opinion. I'm sorry. They tend to be, not all of them, but most of them tend to be darker romances, which is not my jam. I like these ones that you did get some of them that could go to a slightly darker place. You know, with bad situations. I'm not saying bad situations between our main characters, but like darker themes is what I mean by that. But the majority of them were fun. They were, as she says in the thing, they were flirty. They were funny. You know, like they just, and same with the Blaze novels. I really, really miss them, and I am in a way disappointed with the Dare line. It's just not. I feel that Harlequin was kind of bending towards where, I mean, they were following trends, and I get it. You know, they are a business like anything else. They can't cater to a handful of readers, and I totally get that. You know, but there were so many people, and I see so many people talk about missing the Blaze line. So yeah, so, I mean, I'm enjoying, I mean, I've got a ton of these to read through, so it's not like I'm going to be for the rest of my life, I could be reading through these and still not be able to read all of them. So that's what makes me happy too. And last but not least, I did start it for the read along. I talked about it in my vlog. Outlander! Oh, I've missed this book so much. I've forgotten. It's been about 4 or 5 years since I've read this. The last time I read this. This will be my 4th read through of this book. I've read it twice in this format, like in a print format. The last time I read it was on audio, and then now I am actually switching back and forth between this and the audio edition. So I'll read a little bit of this at night. I mean, it is a dense book, guys. Let's be honest, right? It's an 50 page book. So sometimes at night, like if I finished listening to whatever audiobook, and I did this twice this week, I listen to this on audio because I do own the entire series on audio through Audible. So, and just getting back into this world. So I am currently 84 pages into this, and I have to get to page 99. No, I don't have to. I shouldn't say that. This read-a-thon is, or read-along, excuse me, is very, very relaxed. Yes, I have it marked at the top. You can see all my little stickies. So these are for every 5 chapters. So we're reading 5 chapters a week over 7 weeks, and then the last 8th week we are going to read the last 6 chapters. That's kind of the goal, if you want to call it that. If you want to listen to the whole thing on audio in a week, by all means, please do so. If you want to, you know, one week you read 5 chapters, the next week you're on vacation and you read 15 chapters. That's great too. You know, and again, it's very, very loosey-goosey, very open-ended, but I'm giving everybody 2 months. This is a dense book, not just in size, but in what's in here. And reading this, I start to think, I'm like, I could never be a writer like this. I could never write like this. You know, it intimidates you as someone who wants to write, in my opinion. But it's just such a good story, and there's so much in here. There is so much in here. I love it. And I'm at the point now where she has met Jamie, and they have arrived at the Castle Leoch. I can't say it. I don't have any kind of a Scottish accent. And she is dressing his wound, and we've met Mrs. Is it Miss Fitzgibbons? Miss Fitzgibbons? Oh, I just love it. And Murdoch we've met, and Captain Jack Randall, and all the characters are coming into play. And yeah, I'm so thrilled with rereading this. I don't know why I've been putting off doing a reread of the series for so long. I'm super excited that I'm doing this now, and I'm looking forward to, essentially over the next 18 months, to be reading through the rest of the series, hopefully with you guys if you're interested. So that is all of the reading over the course of this weekend. So my goal is for Outlander is that we're going Saturday to Saturday, or Saturday to Friday essentially. So I've got about 10 more pages or 15 more pages to read to get to my goal for the end of this week. And as you can see, you know, like look at that huge gap. That is a 5-chapter gap, you guys. So maybe I didn't plan it out correctly. Like maybe when we do Dragonfly and Amber, I'll do like a page count goal. Let me know your thoughts if we do decide to go ahead, and I'll be reading it on my own. Like I'll be reading it even if you guys don't want to read along with me. But yeah, and all the threads are set up in the Goodreads group. I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. So when you're done, however many chapters, you can go on and discuss if you so desire. So yeah, so that is that. And I've realized that I forgot to grab my 40 Years of Harlequin project book, so I'll be right back. And I'm back. 2006. I'm pretty sure I'm at 2006. I remember, was it last week or the week before that I had the wrong one? 2005. So yes, I am at 2006. So let's see what book we're going to be reading next week. Let me see here. Speaking of, it's a Blaze book, you guys. Ooh, hot and spicy. We've got Sinfully Sweet. Oh, it's an anthology, you guys. Oh, that's exciting. So this is by Janelle Dennison, Jacqueline D'Alessandro, and Kate Hoffman. So it looks like it might be a Valentine's Day one. It says, does chocolate put you in the mood? The owners of Sinfully Sweet, an upscale sweet shop, want to test their theory that chocolate is the ultimate aphrodisiac. So they conduct an unorthodox study disguised as a Valentine's Day promotion. Oh, fun. When the unsurprising customers start grabbing up the chocolates, the experimental results go right off the charts. Sensible Rebecca Moore impulsively decides to take up the offer of millionaire playboy Connor Bassett to have a wildly erotic fling. Uptight Daniel Montgomery and free-spirited Carly Pratt find out that opposites don't just attract, they the sheet's on fire, so you know these ones are spicy, you guys. Kel Martin and Darcy Scott, who shared a one-night stand 5 years ago, are suddenly back in bed together, and they can't get out. But the ultimate test is, when the last of the chocolates melt in their mouths, will the passion remain? Oh, that sounds cute. So 3 little stories. I mean, this is what, 250 pages? 250 pages, 3 little stories. These will be relatively quick to get through. Very much looking forward to it. So, I'll quickly show you guys my knitting. I do not have a lot to show you, actually. I'll show you my sock. This is just my plain vanilla sock that I'm currently knitting. That's where I was last week, and that's what I got done. So I'm almost done the foot on this sock, and yeah, I'm really, really liking it. The yarn is Desert Vista Dye Works in the colorway Puffins. As you can see, it looks like a puffin, like a little bird dude. Yep, so that's the sock. I didn't get much done on my sweater, so I'm not going to bother showing that to you guys because it's pretty much just around and around and around. But same with the sock, really. I mean, there's really nothing much to show. But I did... Should I... yeah, my cross stitch. Let me show you my cross stitch. Sorry, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, you guys. So, there's my cross stitch, Yule, which is the next of the sabots that I'm doing. So I finished the moon, because I just started the moon, I think, last time I showed you guys. And I got the little holly berry done, and I got the bell done, and then down here is going to be a Yule log, and then the candle will go up here. So yeah, I should have this done in another few weeks. I'm really enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun to work on, and yeah. So that is that. This is designed by the Witchy Stitcher, and I'll leave link to her Etsy shop in the description box below if you guys are interested. And last but not least, I did decide to start something new knitting wise because clearly I do not have enough crafts to do. So I am going at the end of July to Buffalo, New York, for 2 days, which is where our Buffalo offices are. And I'm actually going down for some training. So I am leaving early on the Thursday morning, the day after my wedding anniversary, actually, on the 25th of July. And I'm coming home on the Friday, which is the 26th. So I'm staying one night at the hotel. And I have a coworker down there that I'm meeting. And I'm super duper excited to meet her. We clicked right away. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just have people that you meet, you know, whether they be work related or what have you, who you're not related to, and you're not, I mean, you're friends, but you're not friends. Like, I jokingly refer to her as my work best friend. You know, like, if I just need to vent, I will just call her, like, or I'll message her, like, on our phones, like, outside of the, like, you know what I mean? And when I was in the hospital last Friday, she was texting me to see how I was doing, you know? So we've really connected. We kind of have the same slightly off, twisted kind of sense of humor, which is kind of fun. And I decided, I was looking at knitting patterns the other night, and I saw this one that I bought a while ago that Garrett made. And I wanted to make one for her because it totally fits her twisted sense of humor. So I should have done this. I do apologize. Let me bring this up and I'll show you. Because I'm actually making her a toy. Now, I have never, ever made a knitted toy before. Ever. Garrett, when he used to knit and crochet, he used to make, he made a number of toys. No, I want to show the picture, not the actual thing, Garrett.
Oh, that's my masterpiece.
Okay, throw him over here. Okay, so, this is him. It's a voodoo doll. He's called Voodoo You Love. He's supposed to have a little heart on him, but that's okay. The one I'm making for my coworker is going to be bigger. I think, did you use sock weight yarn? Yeah, he made it in sock weight yarn, whereas I'm making mine in a thicker yarn. So he made this. He was really proud of it. It actually sits over on my table over. I should sit him up here. He can like join us on every week when I record. Wouldn't that be fun? But yeah, so it's by Susan Claudino. I'll leave a link to the pattern in the description box below. She does some amazingly adorable toy patterns. You guys need to see them. So anyway, so yeah, so that is what I'm knitting my friend Nicole. And I need it done by, there, he'll hang out right there. I need it done by, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, which should take me no time. I literally started it last night and I'm halfway through the body. So, you know, as you can see, so this is what it looks like so far. It doesn't look like much right now. I actually need to go over to Michael's and get some polyfill because I'm going to need to stuff them. Garrett had a bag of polyfill from when he used to make toys, but unfortunately one summer we were overrun with those flying ants and they kind of got into it, so it was destroyed, so we had to throw it out. So I'm just going to get a small bag. But yeah, so that's the little, so you can see the size difference in this, right? So, oh, come on. So this is So what I've knit so far is like that part down. So you can see how much bigger mine is going to be. But yeah, I am really, really enjoying this. I pulled yarn from Stash to make this. And I'm super excited about it. I'll show you the yarn. This is the yarn. It's beautiful. This is from my favorite independent yarn dyer ever, who does not dye yarn anymore, and I'm so disappointed. Her name is Ren, and she owned a company called Sunrise Fiber Company. There's her label. And this is called, it's a DK weight, so it's a double knit, which would be, I think, double the size of the sock yarn. So mine will probably be twice as big as him. And it's called Winter Dusk is the colorway. Isn't that gorgeous with all those shades of blue? So yeah, I'm really, really happy with it so far. It's knitting up really quick. So, you know, I should have a good chunk of this done, if not completed by next week. Because I don't really see myself knitting on anything else this week because I really want to get this done. And then after I knit these, I actually have to knit 2 hats, one for my brother and one for my sister-in-law, for their trip to Disney World at the end of August. They are dressing up for one day. I'm not sure for what. But my niece is dressing up like Cinderella. They are dressing my nephew up like Prince Charming. Like, my sister-in-law made t-shirts that have like the designs on them. And then my sister-in-law and brother are dressing like the 2 mice. The chubby mouse with the red hat, or the green hat, and then the tall skinny mouse with the red hat. The ones that have like the pointed elf hats. So I have to knit them both hats. I did promise I'd do this months ago, and it completely slipped my mind. This is why I don't promise to knit people things, because I forget. So I do have to get working on those next, and I'll go pick up that yarn at Michael's. It won't cost me much of anything. Like my sister-in-law said, she goes, cheapest yarn you can find. It's literally a prop. So, you know, she just couldn't find anything to buy it that wasn't going to be insanely expensive. So that's all my crafting. So real life stuff. I had bought a camera to use. I was so excited. I mentioned, if you guys watched my my video about my vlog video from Canada Day weekend, that I won a bit of money at bingo. Well, I decided to treat myself and buy a camcorder to use on for my videos. And I looked at the reviews online, and I mean, people raved about it. It had like 4.5-star reviews on Amazon. I thought, this is great. It was under $100, but it was also a camera name that I'd never heard of. But I sent it to Garrett. I said, what do you think? He's like, yeah, the reviews look great. So I got it. We got it today. It is Thursday that I'm filming this. And I set the camera up and I started recording, and it had like the viewfinder thing off the side. And I'm looking at it going, the quality doesn't look great, but maybe it's that camera. Maybe it's that viewfinder. So I put the SD card in my computer and brought it up. It was crap. The quality of the video was grainy. The sound quality was horrible. So I'm like, no. So I already put the return in at Amazon, and I've got it boxed back up, and I'm sending it back to Amazon because I'm sorry. That's not what it said it was, and it was not good. And it wasn't anything to do with the lighting or anything like that. I mean, it was just, I got better picture quality off of my laptop. You know what I mean? Like, it was bad. And I thought my phone works just as well. I just thought it would be kind of fun to have like a camera to use for recording. But you know what? I will stick with my cell phone because it works just as well. But yeah, so that's that. You might notice this entire video that my one eye is just a little bit puffy. I have a sty. I have a sty on my eye. I don't know whether I caught it from Garrett. I didn't go to see a doctor or anything like that. But it's not pink eye because the rest of my eye is not pink. It's been like this for a few days. It is sore. I've been putting compresses on it and stuff like that. And from what I've been looking at online, that's exactly what it is. It is an infection, unfortunately. And I don't know whether, like, you know, he passed it to me unintentionally or what have you. So it is what it is. I'm not worried about it too much. I'm hoping that it clears itself up over the weekend. Because it just looks like I'm really tired. That was the other thing on that other camera. I mean, that was bright red. So luckily it's not so bad here. But sorry, I had to point out because a lot of you were probably looking at it or probably saw it. Or maybe I'm just self-conscious. I don't know. But anyway, so that's that. And then the other thing that you couldn't see because it's cut off in the video is I'm wired for sound for the weekend, you guys. I have got I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I have got a Holter monitor on. But guess what, you guys? I am so stoked. It's wireless. That's it. Literally. That is the entire thing. Right? I can shower with this on. That is exciting. If any of you have ever had to wear a Holter monitor, you know, you get the sticky nodes all over and it's got wires and it goes to like a pack that you have to like put in your pocket or wear around your waist or whatever the case may be. And you can't shower with it or anything at all like that. This one you absolutely can. Now you can't submerge it, like I can't go swimming with it, right? And if I'm under the water, I have to like, just a little bit of water on it is okay, and pat to dry. So as long as you're standing with your back to the shower, you're okay. So I'm so stoked because I have to wear it till Sunday afternoon. So I'm happy that I can shower in it, and the coolest thing ever too is that I can mail it back. So they gave me a pre-labeled, you know, postage paid in Canada little package, and when I'm done with it, I take this off and I throw away the sticky parts. They don't want those back. And I have a diary, as they're calling it, which is like a piece of paper that if I have an episode, I'm to press the button in the center and then mark down the time and what I was doing, like, you know, like for a walk or whatever. And then when they get back the results, they can kind of look at it and go, okay, she was out doing this or whatever, you know, or just sitting on the couch or what have you. And then I mail it back to the lab in Quebec, actually, and they analyze the results and then send them on to my physician. So that's exciting. I just think it's really, really neat. And yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much it. I've got no plans for the weekend. I'm taking my mom out on Saturday. We have some running around to do. She has some blood work to get done. And then I'm taking her to get a pedicure. She's getting one, not me. And she asked if I'd take her over to the Ministry of Ontario. Yay, get to sit around and stand in line. She needs to renew her health card and her driver's license. Even though she doesn't drive anymore, she still wants to keep her license renewed, just in case of emergency. It's good for her to have. She doesn't have a vehicle anymore. She knows how to drive. She just doesn't have a car. So in case of emergency, she wants to be able to still drive. So it's smart to get that and keep that renewed. You don't have to retake a test, so why not, right? And then Sunday we'll probably end up back at bingo because, you know, that's like my jam. That's how I'm making all my money recently. I said to Garrett, since we're sending the camera back, like I said, it was around $100 or something like that. When I get the money back, I'm just going to put it away. And when I go to Buffalo at the end of July, I might go do a little bit of shopping in Ulta or Target or something like that, and, you know, spend my money there. But anyway, guys, that's it. This is a longer video. I do apologize. I had a little bit of chatting to do. I hope you all don't mind. And I will see you guys in my next video. Oh, AuthorTube. I knew there was something else I wanted to mention. Duh. I had originally planned, when I put that video out a couple weeks ago, that I was going to talk about my writing, that I had planned on doing videos on Sundays for like AuthorTube. I have not 100% made a decision whether I'm going to do that or not. I am and I'm not participating in Camp NaNoWriMo. My big plan was to do it, but with my health stuff that I've been dealing with over the last week or so, and, you know, getting back to work, and I've been really stressed out at work because I missed essentially 2 days. Friday I was out in the emergency room, and then on Monday was Canada Day, which means I was off, but the US was still working. So I had 2 days worth of backlogs of emails to get through, and by the time I got home at night, I was just exhausted and wanted to sit on the couch and just pretty much pick up knitting or crafting or something like that, or my book. So yeah, so I haven't really done much. Now I know it's only the 4th or the 5th, so I could still absolutely jump back in. We will see, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do those videos. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. You know, I'm not going to lay pressure on myself to do it. All the regular content will still be going up. That's what's important to me, is doing the rest of it, because that's what I love talking about. I still write. I still will be writing. I will always be writing. I'm not just doing Camp NaNoWriMo and only writing for the month of July. You know, maybe it'll take me 6 months, but one day I'll get that novel finished. And of course, if I ever do that, I will let you guys know. Maybe instead of doing like the weekly for the Camp NaNoWriMo, maybe what I'll do is when I do my monthly wrap up is I'll kind of wrap that up too and let you guys know how much writing I got done over the course of the month. Because I think that would probably be a bit better for me because of my very sporadic schedule and with everything else that I'm doing and with all the reading I'm doing and stuff like that. You know, as much as I love to write, reading is my number one love. So yeah. So anyway, that's it. I'll let you guys go now, and I'll talk to you all in my next video. Take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.